This is really cool, though, to just have that visual, tangible thing that tells you something's changed. All right, so instead of pairing up for practice, I got a different idea. All right, so I want to figure out what your stress level is right now, and instead of a few days back, I'm going to share, like, we're going to do it by the month. So I'd like to have at least like 2 volunteers, maybe 3. And the challenge is, do you know how teenagers will use one-word answers? Anybody have a teenager give a one-word answer before? Yeah, lots of parents too. We're going to do this with 0 words because the picture is worth the words, if that makes sense. Picture is worth 1,000 words. So the chart is going to allow you to see the picture, and I don't even need a single word. We're just going to point at this chart and put marks on the chart. So do I have a couple volunteers willing to come up? Awesome. All right, so on the very far right column, why don't you just put what your stress level, based on what you've learned so far, what your stress level is right now. So it could be in the green right now, it could be in the yellow, and we're going to go back month by month. So it's going to be July, June, and we'll do May and then April. So put where you're at right here, right now in the conference. Just make your mark right now. Everybody got that? Okay. And then we're going to be connecting the dots. So make it so we can kind of connect the dots and make it so it's pretty visual for everybody. All right, so go back 1 column, and that's June. The very beginning of June is where you're going to plot yourself for that column. All right, and then we're going to go back to the next column, and you're going to put the beginning of May. So we're still in school for sure everywhere in the country there. We get out in like late May, and it feels like spring break part 2 in Colorado. There's another picture, different story behind it. Is anybody getting curious yet? How about now? So we got like all the way up in the crisis zone, all the way back down to the green. There's a story there. All right, and here's another one. Did they even give me one word to go off of? Nothing. I haven't done this before. This is my first time. I thought this would be a fun place to just show, like, we can work with it. Dr. Zhang talked about, don't change kids. You guys stay up here for a second. Don't change kids, right? Well, let's work with whatever they give us. They give us one word, let's go with it. And as you could see, like, the other ones didn't get to share the words, but who's curious about those other ones too? Yeah, I mean, it's just like it builds this curiosity of, okay, now I need to know that story, or I want to hear that story. Yeah, I got a quick example on that one. I had a student that was coming in, missed 4, 5, 6, 7 classes in the last week, and asked him why. He's like, well, basically, I'm doing therapy with my friend. And I was like, well, that's clearly affecting you. He's leaning on you too much. Where would you place your friend? Red. Okay, look to the left. What do you need to do? I need to bring him in. There you go. So you're operating in a place you don't belong. And also for the guilt. The guilt that we had after those 3 suicides. I should have seen something. I should have done something. No, that's not your territory. The professionals missed it. We'll work through your guilt. But you need to know, literally, like pulling back that kind of cognitive piece, we need to train you to know that you don't belong there. And if you have a friend there, don't ditch classes and skip classes. You need to know to say, I'm gonna persuade you to go to the counseling office, or I'm gonna go with you. Because that's kind of that's part of our policies. If you can't come back until you've got that safety plan in place, this can be proactive. So I have 3 more SOSs in here. It's signs of stress, sources of stress, and sources of support. So like we got see and act, but we also got the proactive piece. So if you get better at identifying your signs, or your best friend does, or your mom does, or all of the above, then yes, we're identifying those. And I've done it with different professions too, like, well, what are the common ones for firemen? What are the common ones for doctors? And so there's like this element of like the chicken soup for the soul, where it just kind of applies across the board. And so filling that in can be kind of a generic starting point. But yeah, source of support, sources of stress, and then your signs of stress. That last piece you get on a tangible now, like that's awesome to have a tangible as a counselor. That's the relief piece, I think, is to just have that last post. But you also have like, this is like a mindfulness structure. So it's not just like, let's create something that, or with mindfulness or being self-aware, that's very nebulous. But this is like, well, based on where I'm at, I need to know the behavior to do.